Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be cutting a graduated bob haircut. The previous haircut was a classic layered bob. The link is above and in the comments below. I have zoned out the previous fringe, and then taken a radial section, from slightly behind the ear, to the opposite ear. We then take a slight diagonal forward section from the top of the occipital bone, to behind the ear, on both sides. This section is our guide for the line, in the side zones. We start with a center section. We will be taking diagonal forward sections. If you know what diagonal sections do, press pause, and put it in the comments below. If you answered, diagonal sections, direct weight, you would be right. In this shape, I want to increase length, behind the ears, so diagonal sections will be one of the tools I use to do this. We now direct the hair, straight out from the head shape, and assess how steep we would like our graduation. We direct our client's head forward, and take our first section. We elevate our section straight out, from the head shape, and our cutting angle places our graduation on an approximate 45-degree angle. This is our guide for our diagonal sections. We now take our first diagonal section. We follow our guide from the vertical section, approximately a finger's width in depth. We continue to take diagonal forward sections, following our vertical guidelines elevation, directing every section straight out from the head shape. I am currently editing this tutorial from London. I'm spending 8 weeks doing an advanced, comprehensive cutting course. I have learned so much so far, and I'm so excited to teach you everything I have learnt when I get back to my YouTube studio in Australia. We continue to take diagonal sections, directing our comb from underneath, until we reach our new section. We then comb down from the top, placing our section into its elevation before cutting. Our cutting angle mirrors our sectioning. We continue this exact process until we complete this zone. Another tip to help take clean precision sections is to comb your new section into your previous, comb across and simply place your middle finger in line with the section, and comb your new section with the guide from your previous onto your finger, placing it neatly before elevating and cutting. We can now see how the diagonal sectioning is building weight behind the ear. This length will be our guide for the line in the side zones of our haircut. If you spot any mistakes, put them in the comments below. Let's discuss them so we can learn from them. I have already spotted a few. This is something new I would like to introduce to my tutorials. We all know we learn best from our mistakes, so why don't we learn from mine? I think doing this will only expand our theory and increase our cutting skills faster. I have a question for you. Do you have any cutting techniques or haircuts you struggle with? Let me know in the comments below. This is our final section, before moving to the opposite side. This is our diagonal forward triangular graduation. We continue the exact process on the opposite side. Our finger position will now point up instead of down. Be mindful of your elevation, and how your body position will affect your balanced shape. Even tension and hair hydration will help you to maintain precision balance with your previous cutting zone. Another approach to taking clean sections is to simply elevate the ends of your new section, whilst placing your comb underneath, elevating the previous guide into the new section, before combing down to your cutting elevation. We have now completed our graduation. It's important to check our balance before moving to the next step. This is an option. You can wrap dry this zone before moving to the next zone. This is our graduation. Sometimes I love to see this dry before moving forward with my haircut. It can be good practice to concentrate on one zone at a time. We now move on to our crown zone, always rehydrating each zone before cutting. We continue to take diagonal forward sections. Our guide is taken from our previous zone. Our cutting angle mirrors our section, and our elevation meets the top section in our previous zone. You will notice our elevation is slightly higher in the center, and lowers towards the ears, following the diagonal sectioning. If you like what you're seeing, and if you value my work, do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe icons. It would really make my day. We continue the same process until we complete this zone. We also slightly elevate your cutting elevation with every new section. This will stop us from building a weight line in the back of our shape. Our diagonal sections create this length, just what we need for this triangular bob shape. Continue this same process, working up to the top of the crown zone. You can take thicker sections, as long as you can clearly see your guide, and you're maintaining consistent cutting tension and elevation. My body position is behind every cutting section, directing every section to the center of my body as a guide. This is one of the most important tips when cutting any haircut, is to know how your body position will influence what you are cutting. More in-depth education on this topic to come, when I've finished my advanced cutting course, at Sassoon's Academy London. We have now completed the nape and crown zones. It's important to assess your shape from behind, and from the side profile. Take a few steps back and look, and also use your mirror. With the side zones, I am taking diagonal forward sections, to continue to direct length forward in our shape. I am using zero elevation and zero tension, to cut my guide freehand, being mindful of the ear protrusion. using the length from behind the ear as my guide into the side zones. From the parietal ridge up, I am gently holding the hair in place before cutting. This will create a small amount of softness to our line, as different tension will create subtle graduation in our line. We now move to the opposite side and repeat the same exact process. I decided to keep the length of this fringe for this haircut. If you would like to see how I cut this fringe, the link is in the description below. We now flat wrap our haircut into natural fall, preparing our haircut for the personalizing and refining process. To refine the graduation, I will scissor over comb, and lightly dust over this zone, cleaning and polishing any discrepancies in the shape. In the side zones, I use a club cutting technique to remove the bulk, and a point cutting technique to refine the line. Continue to assess your work from different angles before completing your haircut. This is my triangular graduated bob haircut tutorial. I hope you learned something new. If you have any feedback, or if you spotted any mistakes, please hit me up in the comments below. And like always, massive thank you to all of you who support my channel. I do appreciate all of your kind comments. Stay tuned for my next tutorial. See you next week.